I would have missed out on the best woman in the world. A psychologist made a bold claim. He said, by watching a married couple for 5 minutes, it's a bold claim, don't forget. By watching a married couple for 5 minutes, he can tell with 91% precision if the marriage will be successful or not. And he has done this for 3,000 couples over several decades. 91% accuracy. You see, what we don't realize is that relationships are very similar. Good relationships are similar. Bad relationships are similar. The ladies who are doing the wrong thing, they are all doing the wrong thing. Similar things. The guys who are doing the wrong things, they are all doing similar things. And this is the most interesting thing about his research. He discovered that the good marriages were not exactly different from the bad marriages. They all had the same problems. Are you ready for this? In the good marriages, they also fought regularly. They quarreled regularly and quarreled about the same thing. Conflict was not infrequent, he said. They argued, just as unhappy couples did, over money, job, kids, housekeeping, sex, in-laws. They quarreled regularly. You see, let me say this to you. Are you ready? Let me prefix what I'm saying by telling you a story. Something happened. And, should I tell you this? No. All right. You like gists. So years ago, my wife said something that rubbed off the wrong way. And I began to think, maybe she doesn't respect me. Why would she say that? Why would she say that? This was years ago, more than 6 years ago. And I remember, I went somewhere to minister. Hey, God. With a quarrel, I went to Bless Lives. And as I was preparing for the ministration, expecting the Lord to talk about the people that I will see, maybe give me words of knowledge, the sick that will be healed, and all of that. From nowhere, I just heard the Lord say, I heard the voice from over my head like this. And it's usually from that place when he wants to scold me. And he just said, your wife respects you. And in that moment, I was just like, God, I know you know all things, but I won't blame you if you don't know women. You don't know woman. And this is what the Lord said to me that it never occurred to me. You can be a man and your wife will honor you constantly all day, morning till night, giving you food, looking out for you, loving you. Then in one moment of weakness, she blots out and you judge her overall by that moment. And when the Lord said that's what you're doing, well, I won't lie to you, I didn't cave in easy. I said, it's those moments that it really shows. Well, or maybe sometimes our expectations are just too high. That every human being, if pushed to the wall, will respond. Let me tell you another psychological research I found out. Are you ready for this? A woman's behavior in marriage was compared to children and how they behave in classrooms. Do you know how children behave when they want attention and they are not getting it? Complain all the time. It's normal. But how you go about it is different. Complaining is feedback. Complaining is focused on the action, what was done. Criticism is an attack on the personality. And it is always casting aspersions, always conclusive. And always using the word always. You always do this. You always is an attack on the person's character or personality. So instead of saying, you promise to clean the kitchen, someone will say, why are you always so forgetful? That's the difference between complaint and criticism. And by the way, he's telling you how he's able to predict with precision some marriages that will not stand the test of time. This in itself is not enough, but it is one of the pointers. The next he talked about is contempt. Contempt. You see, you have to understand how powerful it is when the Bible tells men, don't be bitter against your wives. It's so powerful. Sometimes you wonder, how did he know? Because with constant complaining and criticism, if you are not careful, it leads to the next stage. Now you're holding someone in contempt. You are bitter against the person. Listen, one of the leading causes of divorce is unmet expectation. I kept expecting you to be this person or do this, and you weren't doing that. I got tired about it. I got tired of talking about it, and so it ended. Because at some point, we now nurse bitterness. We are not even complaining anymore. We've given up on the person. Now we have a perception of the person. Next week, I'm going to tell you how dangerous that is. Perception. If there's enough time today, I'll touch on it briefly. Perception. Many quarrels will, in fact, the reason why many quarrels go unresolved is that we already have a perception of the person. The reason small issues are escalated is because we have a perception of the person. If you don't change that perception, and that's why, are you ready for this? It has been proven scientifically that even therapy sessions don't always work. As high as 65% of people who go for therapy sessions, just months down the line, they relapse. That's almost everybody in 6 months. Because now you are laying out the problem, but the problem is just the surface. There are underlying issues. You know, there are underlying issues that sometimes fundamentally is a trust problem. I don't really trust this person anymore. I'm not safe around this person. That's the issue. Come on, are you listening to me? What did I say is number one? What about number two? And then number three, defensiveness. Always ready to fight. See, when you get to this point, there's problem. Seek for help. You are always ready to reply. When the person says 1, you say 5. Steadily with your boxing glove. Ready to fight. At this point, trust is out the window. You are in that relationship to survive. Defensive. Always preempting what the person will say, what the person will do. You have your defense. This, by the way, is not what Peter meant when he says, be ready to give a reply. 1 Peter 3:15. This is not what he meant. Hallelujah. And then the next is stonewalling. Stonewalling. You are in the marriage, but you are single. Stonewalling. Keeping interactions to the barest minimum. Single replies. Yes. No. Thank you. Don't worry. At this point, you're acting like you don't care what the other person has to say. You don't care what the other person feels. Avoiding eye contacts. Avoiding interaction. And it is very interesting that in civil engineering, you stonewall to avoid a flood, right? Do you understand the imagery I just created? You stonewall to avoid a flood. People who stonewall are just tired of constant attacks. And so it's a defense mechanism. And if after a while the stone caves in, now there is flood. There's a meltdown in the marriage. Things get really bad. He said these are the things to watch out for. He said another thing to watch out for. Please, the reason I'm mentioning this is so that you can recognize these patterns and correct it. And even if you are single here, better learn it ahead of time. He said another thing to watch out for, bad memories. Listen, subconsciously, when someone has gone through trying times in marriage, they go back to the past and rewrite it. And so when you even talk about past events, they remember it in a new light. They don't remember all the fun things. They don't even remember all the fun memories. They look back and all they see are all the patterns of hurt and disappointment. So he noticed when he would ask couples, okay, so what was your marriage? How was your wedding day? Even if it wasn't the most flamboyant, if you had at least peaceful experience in that marriage, on that wedding ceremony, that's something to relive. But people, because of the hardness and hardship they've gone through, they will go back in their mind psychologically, rewrite it, and all they remember will be the things that did not go well. And so you might want to ask yourself, when I think about where we are coming from, how do I feel? How do I feel? Do I only remember the bad? These, he said, are the things to watch out for.